the people of Port St. John's are trying to piece together their lives following the damaging floods in the Port St. John's area and the surrounds. At least 3 people are confirmed to have died and another remains missing after heavy rainfall overnight on Thursday. Let's speak now to Newzroom Afrika's Siphosethu Booi, who joins us live from Port St. John's. Siphosethu, good morning to you. You will explain in a moment whether people have died specifically in that area, but the one area that we know for certain as a result of the reports, of course, is the area of Coffee Bay, where it sounds as though tourists were the ones affected and some people remaining missing. What's the situation where you are?
Well, Booi, we visited the youth center last night. That's where some of the residents of Port St. John's have been placed by the municipality. We spoke to a woman there who told us that upon her arrival on Friday, returning from work, her children had let her know that the house had collapsed. They no longer have a place to stay. We also spoke to a gentleman, Mr. Beja, who spoke to us about the fact that his son and himself only had the clothes that they were wearing only left, and they lost everything, and they are amongst the 200 people who are now homeless here in Port St. John's. And we do know that a cleanup program is going to happen today, and we are joined now by Umamu Nomvuzo, who is the Port St. John's municipality mayor, who's going to speak to us about also just some of the challenges that maybe we are not aware of, Mama, that Port St. John's has been faced with. We do know that these particular floods are not happening for the first time in the area. Siyayazi noba kukho abantu abangenawo amakhaya, kukho partially homeless. Speak to us, Mama, just about the numbers there, and also if whether or not there were any fatalities that were recorded.
Fortunately, Port St. John's did not experience any fatalities because we managed to get support, but we had an incident of people who were struck by lightning in Ward 16. 9 students that were in a room at Mteto Senior Secondary School, but 5 of them were injured, but fortunately all of them were safe. At this moment, we would say this flood is more than what we experienced before, because there are a lot of things that happened. The roads have been washed away in places where we never experienced that. A lot of people's houses have been damaged, flooded. People's furniture and everything has been destroyed. And there are those literally who are homeless. Currently, those who are affected are more than 700. And those who are homeless at this moment are more than 200. And we are still experiencing some, because reports are still coming in, because this has not happened in town only. It has also happened in the areas, in the outskirts of town. So we were fortunate to get a visit from Deputy Minister Mamu Pemchwete and the Premier of the province, who were able to assist us in making sure that they talk to other MECs who are going to come today with some of the things. The challenge is that Port St. John's is in this area where it is. Our drainage system, we are not proud that it is perfect. But what we need, as the Premier has been assisting us with the small town revitalization program, you will find that in the streets where this program has happened, where the streets have already been done, paving has been done, drainage has been done, you see that in those streets everything is okay. But the streets that are not yet done are the ones that are affected most, which means we need to focus on the drainage, but the whole infrastructure of Port St. John's in town and outside needs urgent attention, because our roads have been damaged, bridges have been damaged. Port St. John's is known that every village here is having a river. The beauty of Port St. John's becomes a challenge because of the rivers that are overflowing everywhere. We had a backlog of 40 bridges before the disaster. That means now even the bridges that were existing are damaged, which means we are beyond now that backlog that we were having of bridges. We are fortunate to say that we are going to get 8 bridges that are going to be done by the army. They were still preparing that when the disaster came. We applied, for the past disasters, because this is not the first disaster. We applied and costed our challenges up to 200 million, but we were able to receive 13 million. And we were still busy doing our cleaning of the drains and the roads that were affected when the disaster struck. So which means even what has happened has affected the progress even in that, which tells you that it is more now what is needed.
Quickly, Mama, ngoku ke ngoku aba bantu banangana amakhaya ngoku kule 700 benithe mos 200 bona banawo amakhaya uzawuthwani ngoku ngapha?
The first thing is the temporal shelters that we are requesting from the Department of Human Settlements, that those people need urgent attention, because literally they are there, and it's not healthy to keep people in a hole for a long time. But we are talking with the traditional leaders of our area that it will be good to take some of those people because you can't put a temporal structure in a place that is not conducive for a human being to live in. So that's why we are having these conversations with our traditional leaders, so that we have, because even this town is under Tagoba Traditional Authority. So we are always in talks with them. Even today at 2 p.m. we will be having a meeting with them to finalize some of those things.
Mama Unomvuzo Oli, that is the Mayor of Port St. John's speaking to us and just saying that, of course, they are still in talks with the traditional leaders in and around the area to make sure that conducive areas are placed, of course, with temporary structures for the residents who are now homeless here in Port St. John's, just to make sure that that issue in the backlog as far as homeless people is concerned is attended to with urgency. And I know that there will also be a cleanup program that will be taking place shortly this morning here in Port St. John's. So we will be monitoring those developments here for Newzroom Afrika.
Siphosethu, Booi, thank you very much for that update live for us in Port St. John's, that's in the Eastern Cape.